This is Marvel Rivals, an amazing video game taking the world by storm. And this is
Batman.
He's Batman. And he's just one of the characters that I'm going to be drawing
As if DC Comics stole the Marvel Rivals art style.
But stealing an art style isn't easy. You have to study it, understand what makes it, well, it. The cel shading, the white rim light, the exaggerated proportions, all while making sure that the character still looks like the character. And after all this, with my designs, which I'm super proud of, I think DC Rivals would be amazing. But it's time to start, and I'm gonna start with drawing...
I'm Batman.
No, I'm not drawing...
I'm Batman.
You know what? Fine. All this stress for only one subscriber? We're gonna start with the Dark Knight himself. So I have to start sketching. One thing about the Marvel Rivals art style is the proportions. The bigger characters, the stronger characters, well, they're way bulkier than what I'm used to drawing. And I want my Batman character to be a bigger character. He's not a small guy after all. And plus, I want him to be wearing some top-notch armor. So I need him to be, well, bulkier. The way the chest pops out, for example, on Captain America, it doesn't really look natural to me. But it still looks good. So I need to capture that. Now, I don't think my Batman will be a vanguard character, you know, a tank. I think he'll be more of a attack character, a duelist. But I still want him to be a bigger character. Now, I know some renditions of Batman, he's more of a leaner, strong character, but in Marvel Rivals, you're not just fighting some random street thugs. You're battling people who can punch holes through buildings. Batman needs to be geared up for war if he wants to stand a chance. So again, I'm making him look more armored and more tactical. A suit that says, yes, I don't have powers, I'm just a regular person, but I'll still go toe-to-toe with a Kryptonian. And I'm not talking about playing cookies with Superman. Unless he wants to. No judgment. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. I know some of you want to rub some toes with him. As I'm drawing Batman, I'm also thinking about his toes. I mean his moveset. Probably a mix of stealth, gadgets, and brutal hand-to-hand combat. Maybe when he's on top of rooftops, he can have some sort of invisibility passive. Or maybe while he's standing still on rooftops. Once you move, you become visible again. I don't want this to be able to be used as a way to stop the point from moving, so while he's invisible, he can't interact with the point. That'd be cheating. He doesn't have superpowers. I'm not saying Batman turns invisible. We just want to play on that stealth thing. Let me know if this works. As for the gadgets, I would imagine he throws a lot of batarangs, kind of like Moon Knight, but I don't want him to be an exact copy of the Moon Knight character, so I want him to be more effective at close quarter combat. Those punches that he throws really gotta hurt. I also would like for him to be able to throw the smoke bombs. You know, when in the movies, when Batman is talking to a character and then that character turns around and then he looks back and Batman is gone. I kind of wanted to have that effect. You throw the smoke bomb and the character kind of disappears. I don't know if that will make people upset and make it look like Batman has powers, but I'm trying to work things out with this kit. I also maybe want him to have his grappling hook. Maybe it can help him reposition instantly. Kind of move him around like Spider-Man does, but he's not swinging, he's more ziplining, zipping to places. I like his moveset so far, but I want to talk about the style a little bit more before we talk about his ultimate. In my normal style, I usually use a variety of thick and thin lines in my artwork for the inking. But in Marvel Rivals, the inks, if they are there, they're kind of one uniform width. While I'm studying the art style, I noticed something that really makes the style stand out. And I'm not talking about just its cel shading, I'm talking about that white rim light. It makes it look like your character is just stepping straight out of a comic book and it adds an extra punch. This is what separates this style from other art styles. And this is what a lot of people love about it. But back to the move list. I want Batman to have a pretty good ultimate because, well, he's one of my favorite characters and I want him to be a viable character in the game. I imagine him calling on the Batwing, his awesome Batman airplane, and it shoots down maybe 3 or so missiles, kind of like the AC-130 from Call of Duty. It grows through any object, so even if you are underground or in a building, it can still hit you. I think it will be a strong ultimate. But I still want it to be able to be blocked by Doctor Strange's shield and other things like that, so it's not too overpowered. The blast radius is big though, so if you're not right underneath that shield with Doctor Strange, you're a goner. I also had an idea for his ultimate to be him calling on the other Robins and the Bat family and them attacking like Psylocke does. But then that kind of takes them out of the game as playable characters, and we don't want that. After I struggled with this armor and the rendering, I finally finished. Here it is, my Batman, in the Marvel Rivals art style. I'm Batman. I think he looks great. I was very uncomfortable with those proportions, so I struggled a little bit here and there, but I love him. I probably will be playing as him a lot. Or maybe not, because the next character is my absolute favorite DC superhero ever. He's probably one of my favorite superheroes ever. Second to Spider-Man. And this might give you shock to your system. This is Static Shock, my favorite DC hero of all time. And the second character I'm redesigning as if DC Comics stole the Marvel Rivals art style. Now, I already know this is going to be a fun one. The electricity is gonna look so cool. I have to make sure his designs feel combat ready, just like how I did with Batman, how he needed armor to go toe-to-toe with the superpowered threats. So I gave Static Shock a more tactical suit. Still keeping his iconic coat, of course, because that's non-negotiable. But maybe I'll add some reinforced gloves, some high-tech goggles. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, some high-tech elements that make him feel at home in the Rivals battlefield. I want him to look more like a Spider-Man style character, so he won't be too bulky like I had Batman. He will be more of a duelist style character, not a vanguard. I want to keep the fact that he is a young superhero, so yeah, Spider-Man makes sense to use as a reference. This one is going to be a struggle for me. Not because I'm uncomfortable with the style, but more because I love Static Shock. So much so that it intimidates me to draw him. And this is the reason why I hardly ever draw Spider-Man and why this is my first time ever drawing Static. I'm always super afraid to tackle my favorite characters. Not that I will tackle these superheroes. Now, let's talk gameplay. Static will be a high mobility disruptor, zipping around the map on his static saucer while shocking enemies from a distance. I want him flying around as much as possible, if not always. Kinda like Storm or Iron Man. I would love for him to also be able to land and fight hand-to-hand combat with some electricity combos, but I think that might be a little too much. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Should he be able to do both? While I'm drawing him, I'm having so much fun making him look futuristic. I decided I'm gonna give him a costume that is more techy. So I did that by adding these little thin lines. They make things look super high tech for some reason, especially if you add some shadows and lights, making them look like they're debossed or embossed. It makes a world of a difference. Also, you can add some cool lighting effects to the costume and make it look futuristic as well. It's like a cheat code, but there's not going to be any cheat codes in the game. None of those nude mods that they have for certain characters like Squirrel Girl, Dagger, Psylocke, and even Venom. Yeah, you heard that right. But back to Static. Of course he's gonna have a lightning bolt attack that kind of chains between enemies when you hit one. Kind of going from one enemy to the other to the next. Of course they have to be a certain distance from each other. We don't want it traveling to the other side of the map as well. I also want his ultimate ability to be a giant shockwave, damaging and stunning enemies for a big follow-up. I think he would be my absolute favorite character. I would probably play him all the time. As I'm rendering him, I'm having such a good time because I'm leaving in these cool brush strokes instead of blending everything in. Leaving in those brush strokes kind of push that cel-shaded look. And I already also use cel shading in my normal art style, so it's kind of familiar to me. Now I had to add this white rim light. Don't forget those little accents of color inside of it. This is one of the things about this style that I absolutely love. That white rim light already makes the character stand out and the style stand out, but they added these two accent colors with pink and blue. Sometimes I use red as well, but yeah, it further makes it pop, and I love it. I even go in and add some sketch lines that kind of go off the character at certain angles, and some of them are actually off the character as well. This is another thing I love about this style, and it's something that I might incorporate into my own style in the future. And for those of you who always ask, how do I find my own art style? This is how. Doing studies and taking things and stealing things from other styles that you like and mixing them up and making it your own. So give this one a try too. Study this style, study my style. But here you are, Static Shock. I love the Static Shock redesign. I like it more than I like my Batman drawing, but I'm also biased because I love Static. I can't believe this is my first time drawing Static Shock fan art, and it came out really well. I'm super happy with it. So that's DC Rivals, if it existed. And honestly, I think it should. Batman Static Shock redesign fit perfectly in the Marvel Rivals battlefield. Let me know in the comments down below which one you think is the best, which one you would be playing as. Would you even play this game if it was DC Rivals instead of Marvel Rivals? Also, if any, which other DC character would you like to see in this style? Let me know. And if you want to see me try more crazy redesigns and art challenges like this, click this video right here. And don't forget to subscribe. And remember, I'm awesome. Thanks for watching.